close this, and then hey,
Holy crap! Look at that.
there you go.
You just made a show.
Just made a show in my kind of in my style, nice and simple. Okay, I'm gonna put some FF14 music in the background. And the reason I did the is because I didn't have enough letters in my tweet for the, so I just did the,
so
and then
works.
people did it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll keep it.
Oh man, I feel like if this were to continue and we'd be serious about it, that the overlay should have like world clocks.
World
times in different time zones.
I like the way you think. I like the way you think.
We can try to pretend like we were super serious. It's like,
hey, you know what? I people wanted this, so it's like
it's time for the half-hour news update. It's 11:31 a.m.
All right. Why are we starting with that? I'm not entering a freaking, what is that? The music that came on first was like all foreboding and shit. It was Pentious. I'm like, nope, not gonna do that. How about this one? No, not that either.
Final Fantasy XI.
I can't speak to that other than like the couple of weeks that I played of it.
Okay, so you know those the blue cookie tins. You've like the big old circle cookie tins, like you pull the top and there's like a little sorted cookie.
Oh, I love those. Yeah.
Those things are amazing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Final Fantasy XIV is pulling off the lid and finding cookies. Final Fantasy XI is pulling off the lid and finding sewing supplies, needles and thread. And
I wanted cookies, but I'm getting sewing supplies instead.
That's it. It's everybody's grandmother passed it on to their mother, and there's a cookie tin somewhere in your guys' house, and you go to open it, and there's needles in there, and you're like, when did that become accepted though? To use the cookie tin?
I never thought about it that way, only because I don't really have that much. I'm really the newbie in this entire like the entire community. You think of the people who are kind of like the streamers who are in the directory, and I'm like, I came into Heavensward. I came in at Heavensward, and I only played 11 because Jen wanted to play 11 before playing 14, so we got to like level 30-ish. Didn't even get a second job or our first job, so it's like I wish like people played 1.0, and I remember that people in my chat were like walking me through what happened when 1.0 died, and I'm like, I kind of wish I had known about all this before coming in, but
Yeah, because it feels like it had like even if you didn't like the game, you would have wanted the experience of the game going down and then coming back up.
Exactly. When I saw the video, Voxel out there showed me the video on cast one day, and I'm just like, wow, I can't even fathom what everybody felt like.
Have you watched the Fall and Rise of Final Fantasy XIV?
Mm-hmm.
Such a great series. Oh, by the way, shout out to Speakers Network in that series. Hi! None of you are probably watching right now, but if you were...
Yet.
I recommend, like, I actually recommend that series to like everybody who either played the game and didn't play 1.0, or people that are just now joining the game. I show them that. There you go. Let's see. Guess I'll just eat the needles. Yeah. That's. Oh, you want your relic weapon? Time to eat the needles. No, normally it's Can It Run Crisis, and then it turned into Can It Run 1.0. Yeah, those flower pots. Those flower pots.
Oh, the flower pot, the overly polygon flower pots or whatever. Like, was that what? Okay, I do remember.
I have to tell Steam to behave itself. It was trying to update something. It's like, oh, okay. You're not playing anything right now. Let's update a game. I'm like,
no. So how was your cast today, Pook?
It was emotionally charged.
I heard you were trying to get yourself awake for this.
I ranted on 2 separate topics, and I ranted in sometimes I will rant in a very unreasonable way, and I'm glad that my community realizes that they can continue to talk about it, and I'm not trying to just shut them down.
This
because
is,
if I approached somebody like me that was that livid about a topic, I don't know if I would say anything to them.
That's what I think when I start doing the same thing. This is why I wanted that's why I thought a show with us could work, because we do rant on topics like that all the time. But like, yeah, I think there have been many times where I've ranted on something, and then my community is just like Avalon blanking.
Avalon blanking. They're like,
what's he talking about again? Okay, Brian's on his old man rant. Oh.
Yeah, you okay over there? Settle down. Settle down. It's not that big of a deal.
Story time. Back in my day.
Back in my day. I gotta look at the developers block. Here it is.
Okay, I will.
Reddit's down. Is it back up now, baby? Please.
Reddit's down. I was about to do a dance.
Nope. Reddit's down. Reddit's down. It's down. Reddit are dead. I think most of your viewers know everyone has and is entitled to their own opinion. Yeah, and I'm actually really pleased that we were able to grow a community that can do those sorts of things and have this one, because a lot of people can't. Like, you say the P word, politics.
Oh God, and then people.
And it's like la la
la la la la la. It's nothing to do with me. Blah blah blah.
Do 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 do.
All right, dev blog.
Yeah, I'm getting all of our servers are busy right now. Please try again in a minute.
Getting rejected by Reddit.
The subreddit, yeah. Reddit just doesn't want me. I don't blame them. I mean, you know, I don't ever post over there. Are you thinking of another P word? Well,
Shirley, please.
There's at least this blog entry, right? I'm just gonna link it to you in Discord, because I don't know where I'm gonna send you these things.
Oh, okay.
Where they were showing off a preview of what some of the new dungeons look like inside.
Oh yes, yeah. I guess I'll post this into the chat as well, so people can follow along.
Yeah.
I woke up to this a couple of mornings ago. I guess it would have been yesterday morning, considering today is Cinco de Mayo.
Just lose track of time because it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
Fall into like a vortex.
It just happens. I don't even, being married to a Mexican, I don't even need to get drunk. I just wake up it.
Yoshi P says they what? I'll be your Reddit feed. Yoshi P says they love you.
Oh man, Yoshi P Senpai noticed us.
Senpai. Well, Yoshi P is like, man, I had to wake up because we're on probably like a horrible time for Japan right now. Like, it's probably like the worst time ever for Japan to be watching us. And Yoshi P is like, bad. I had to set my alarm to wake up. Like, they wake up for my live letters. They wake up for my live letters. I wake up for Pook and Bryan in the morning. Like, and it's
not like, his morning. Well, it is technically their morning. It's just really freaking early in the morning.
We could actually schedule the show based on when it's morning for Yoshi P.
We doing this at like, shoot, Shirley, help me out. What would be morning in Japan?
What would be like? Yeah, if we wanted the show to air like at 7 or 8 in the morning in Japan, what time would we start it here?
Wait, what was that? For Japan? Okay, well, Jin knew. 6 o'clock at night, my time would be 10 a.m. Japan time. So
okay,
this is gonna be a night show. I like how we're already talking growth hacking.
Yeah, so we'll do Pook and Bryan in the morning at 6 p.m.
Yep. It's just, people are like, it's not morning though. It's morning somewhere. Morning somewhere, guys.
This is where the clocks on the screen would be helpful.
I realize this. We could just point to, it's morning here right now. In
where it might actually explain away a changing schedule.
Because we're always in the morning.
Because it's always morning somewhere. It's not we to respect, in the respect of our viewers, we don't always do it for our morning because we're not selfish like that. We might be doing it for somebody else's morning.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
These dungeons, though, I'm pretty amazed by them.
I really like the themes in the first picture. I saw that architecture in like Shirogane and Kagane, and I was like, are they going to use it in dungeons? Like, are there going to be places that like? And I don't even know what to even think about these dungeons, but I do know that the second one we saw in the benchmark, because the second one is where the fight with Susano
and the FF10 version of Yoshimitsu.
Yojimbo.
Oh, sorry, Yojimbo. Yes.
Yojimbo. What I'm thinking is that obviously Susano won't be there because it's a dungeon, and instead Yojimbo will be the end boss of that one.
Oh, so you think that's already that's kind of already?
Yeah, I think they'll give him the Fenrir and Siren and all etc. treatment, and just make him a dungeon boss. I don't know.
The third one just looks like a chocobo racing track, like out of FF.
That's actually, yeah. I saw the bannering around it, and
Yeah.
I saw it. You know what? Actually, that's in the Azim Steppe. Is where that was, or what the heck of that place is named.
Mm-hmm.
The place with the wild aura. That reminds me way too much of the Calm Lands.
What I said when I first saw that, and they used the word step, like the first thing I thought of was actually Grand Pulse, and I'm like, oh, this is our open world in freaking FF13.
We finally like in 13 you play how many chapters and you finally get to open world. In Final Fantasy 14 you play 2 expansions and
then you get to open world. I'm like, this is gonna be our Grand Pulse right there, and that's what I thought of. But yeah, the Calm Lands.
It strikes me as very Calm Lands, especially with the fact that those pennants and everything make me think it's a chocobo race going on.
Yeah, I wonder. Is there? I don't know. There doesn't seem to be a precedent for them taking chocobo racing outside of.
Could you imagine a chocobo race? Like there was actually a dungeon like a set of trash poles where you had to ride a chocobo through them.
Oh well. Huh, that would be really cool though, to be able to get on your chocobo inside a dungeon for some dungeon stuff.
Because every time we asked for queuing with our chocobos in party, we always got the answer of, you can't take your chocobo in the dungeons yet. And they just randomly throw like a vehicle fight in that just happens to be chocobos. I'd be like, I'm so done with this. I
want to see a fight with a black mage on a chocobo trying to do his rotation.
Does it count as his movement if he's, because ley lines is screwed, but he's not.
Does ley lines move with the chocobo? Or is it
can I attach ley lines to the chocobo?
Yeah, I cast ley lines around the chocobo rather than on the ground.
And
that's a question that people should ask during live letters, other than when am I getting my krill outfit? Like,
well, when are you getting it?
I don't know. They seem to have answered that the same. I don't know. Soon. You just got to ask the Mog Station mother about when that's coming.
The Mog Station mother. I have this theory that the Mog Station mother, yes, is a real person, but it's actually Rowena. Like, I think Rowena is actually a real person.
They probably model Rowena off of the Mog Station mother.
So when she's doing those shady but it'll make me money. I'm like, that's actually a person. That's her. Like when people are like, where's my cloud mount for EU, and she's just over here going, Mog Station soon. I think that's it. I think that's her. Probably in Japanese though, but I don't speak the language, so I can't.
Oh crap! I should know that, but
The Cryo outfit is the Oracle attire from Tactics.
It is, isn't it?
Yes. And everybody thought that, like, you know, they might be hinting at an Oracle-like class when they introduced her.
Yeah, you're right. Crap.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I can understand why people want it, but at the same time, it's just like everybody gets cat ears now. Everybody.
Dancer.
Dancer?
I don't know. I was looking at so the other I guess the other piece of news would be the Instagram shot. I think that's a nice little bit of news too, is the Instagram shot that 14 put out a couple of days ago. They're like, watch our Instagram. And oh wait, it's growing. Oh shit. Okay.
Is it? No, it's not Tactics then. Is it Tactics Ogre? I'm sorry. Yeah. I haven't actually seen the picture that yeah, it's been used before. I'm trying to remember which game it was used before in. Sorry. The Instagram picture though, they're adding to it, right?
They are. They're going to be making a grid out of it.
Somebody asked me if I'd seen what they added to it today, and I hadn't yet.
Just some guy's hand. It's just a hand today. But I mean, the middle one is what gets me. Like, ooh, a tactical map. And then somebody probably somebody in the comments is like, that means Dancer confirmed.
Yeah, so it looks like, okay, so we've got 3 images combined so far. Let me see if I can actually link to this.
Yeah, if you want to go onto their Instagram, otherwise just look at my blurry camera photo picture. But yeah, follow the account on Instagram. It seems like they're building on it daily.
And it's like, I know we're getting new art, but like, is the final reveal just going to be the art piece, or is it going to have some kind of announcement tied to it?
I think it's tied to a feature. That like, note that for one, we don't really recognize anybody in it. So yeah, we can assume that they're, Warriors of Light. 2, maybe assume that. 2, just that it seems like a game. They could be revealing a mini game of some sort. I mean, that seems like something we'd be able to do.
If that becomes a mini game, then I'm gonna be all over it, and it'll probably be like, oh yeah, I remember when I was excited about mini games in this game.
I mean, a tactical map. We have Return to Evil East, FF Tactics. I mean, Tactics is a strategy game. I mean, that seems to be... leaning
over a table, Balmung deletion confirmed. There we go. It's been figured out.
Balmung deletion.
This is okay, so this is basically going to be the debate that goes on as Balmung is being deleted.
Yep.
This is the crowd that's gathered. And I don't think anybody's on the Kote side. Everybody's just like, no.
Oh, it could be artwork for the Evil East raid, though.
That's a good point.
It could be, yeah, that's one of the comments here. It could be artwork for the Evil East raid. Tabletop D&D? I think so many people have asked me, hey Bryan, have you looked at the FF14 D&D? And then we got into this big argument about if there's fell cleave or not in it. And cuz I'm like, obviously it'd be work cuz I want to fell cleave everything. But now I'm not that big of a D&D person.
Were they where they adapted the classes for was it 5th? I think they're for 5th. Or are they 3.5? I don't remember. I know I downloaded it at some point. Yeah, we have the raid called Return to Evil East. I just don't know how much they're gonna ride the tactics thing. Though Yoshi P did say to brush up on your tactics.
Brush up on your tactics. Yeah, so I'm more like with that thought that this is like, Tactics, Evil East. I know I'm not trying to forget about 12 either. I was really hoping they'd try to pull more from 12.
But
I think I think there's less to pull from 12 than there is to pull from Tactics. Like Tactics.
I would really like if we do the Return to Evil East raid and we do the series of 3 raids, and at the end we end up bringing that bunny race with us to Eorzea, and then in the next expansion the bunny race is playable. But no, that won't happen.
No.
I
just think I think if the Viera race could be playable, if Jen could make a Fran inside the game, she probably would do it. like that. Fran is her favorite character, like one of her favorite characters of all time in the series. So if they actually brought that race, that would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, I kind of doubt that they would. That'd be great, actually. That'd be a really smart way to bring it in.
They've said it isn't yet.
Yet.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that they will change their minds and add a playable race at some point in the future. Though, honestly, so I think the issue that I have now is if I want a race that isn't completely humanoid.
Oh, like based in.
I was trying to find the right way to phrase that.
No, yeah, like as in like what, 2 arms, 2 legs.
Well,
based off
more
human,
like
or
they all look like people plus like cat ears, or that was going to be people plus bunny ears.
So what would be an example of that in the series?
In the series,
Because I mean, you could go like, oh, like how about like Kamari's race, but that's still kind of humanoid.
Kamari's very humanoid too. I'm trying to think of a character in the series that actually varied from that. I don't know how customizable some of the other characters would, you know, that in other games it would be. I'm trying to think of like immediately like a game. Like obviously you've got Numo? What are the Numo?
The Numo? Tactics.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, see that?
Oh,
that was...
them. Okay.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It's something more along the lines of that.
That is very interesting, Moogie.
Sage folk good at magic, not that good at physical. Yeah, I was trying to think of, without comparing it to like World of Warcraft, what races would go well, but like I mean, I'm not opposed to like 2 arms, 2 legs, stands upright. I'm just
no, I understand where you're coming from.
To be fair, they already had concept art for Vieira. They just changed from Vieira to All Rot last minute. Yeah, I also thought that the Vieira, wasn't the early Vieira concept art actually just used as an April Fool's joke, and then they're like, oh, let's develop this a little bit more, and then they went with All Rot instead.
Is that what they did? Okay.
Like Lord of Dominion was a freaking April Fool's joke.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That is now a thing in the.
It is now actually a thing in the game.
Yeah.
Verminion. Let's talk about Verminion.
Okay.
Because I don't think that comes up all that often.
No.
I actually like the concept of it, and I would love to play it as its own standalone game.
Have you not played Lord of Vermilion? Oh, well, of course.
No,
it's only available in Japan. I actually played Lord of Vermilion. I have like a bunch of cards that every time I go to Japan are obsolete because they have the next version of the game out. But yeah, I've invested a crap ton of money in those cards. But yeah, it's really they've changed it over the years. But yeah, just that being able to have cards that you place on a tabletop and being able to move those and having to like get like a claw grip of moving them and then having another hand on the controller and like kind of it's really, I love the concept of it, which is why last time I went and I didn't see it there, I was pretty devastated. But they were in the middle of a release cycle. Yeah, they have Lord of Vermilion 3 now.
I think with Verminion, I know people are bringing up it's still a joke and people still, I don't think a lot of people play it because I think it's awkward to play the RTS style game inside of 14's engine.
When I was playing through it, it just felt a lot slower than the actual game. And I think there are a couple of things they can do with Verminion to speed it up, because I think with 14's engine, you kind of need it to be a little faster than at the basic level. You need it to be faster. But yeah, it is a strategy game is a bit awkward.
Yeah, I think that's the issue, is that how it responds. It responds really slow. How the controls are in place. I honestly think that if they actually pushed that as off like a mobile game, like a tablet game, and they built it itself separately, that it would actually do well. I like the idea of minion battling.
Mhm.
That was actually one of my favorite things to do to kill time in World of Warcraft was the pet battles. Not quite. I didn't get into it as much as like some. Oh my god, insanely as much as some people do. But every time I look at that, everybody's like, "Oh man," because when you talk about Heavensward, you talk about like overall it was a good expansion.
Yeah.
But everybody brings up 3.1, and I think the reason that people are upset with 3.1 is because not only do we get Void Ark, and Void Ark was bleh, but the only other thing to fill our time is Verminion.
Oh, so I joined after 3, I guess in 3.0 and 3 when 3.1 was coming out. So I wasn't even close to end game content at that point. So that was really all you guys had at 3.1 was Void Ark and
the 2 dungeons, the Void Ark, because it's every other patch is Savage.
Yeah.
And Gordius Savage was brutal. Gordius Savage was just tearing groups apart. I know a lot of people who quit the game at Gordius.
That's something that a lot of people told me when they would come in and talk about and reminisce about it, was that a lot of groups would break at A3S. Was it A3S or somewhere?
Yeah,
around there?
A3S, A3. And the funny thing is that A3S is actually a really well put together fight, but it's just Gordius as a whole was not doing well. It was tearing groups apart. People were getting all frustrated, and they were either finding new groups or they were quitting, and their only alternatives were Void Ark
and Lord of Verminion. I see.
And
see, that's the thing.
We asked for it to be harder. They gave us what we asked for. That's why when everybody's like, when I see people on the official forums going, "You see how many people are asking for this? Why don't you do it?" No, devs should not be doing what the vocal part of the player base is asking for. They should.
No,
really.
Yeah, I don't.
At the end of the day, like every time they listen to the player base, it's just like, why did you do this? We asked for it to be harder. They gave us something harder, but they gave us something harder in the form of DPS checks. Over being mechanically harder. And then so people are like, that's too hard, make it a little easier. And then
actually that's a really interesting thing, that the DPS check, because I mean, for those of you who don't know, my group, which is mainly made up of newer players, is going through the coils raids, synced and blind, and we just hit T8, and T8 is such an interesting raid to me.
I love T8.
Yeah, and then we cleared A10S, and like, granted, we have people to help, but like a couple days ago we cleared A10S in like less than 3 hours, because I mean, mainly it was just, here's the dance, and like people would come in, and I finally started to understand like what the sort of theme around Heavensward, the Heavensward raid tiers were, is that actually every encounter in Heavensward is based on some kind of dance, and if you know the dance, if you perfect the dance, you're fine.
Yeah.
But you can go into T5 and still get your ass kicked by Tintania, even after knowing every single mechanic, you can still get surprised by it.
Right. I think actually T7 is a good example of a fight where you have to prioritize fight mechanics over DPS. Because you push T7, you can easily push T7 into phases before you're ready for it.
Yep. We figured that out the hard way.
And that's why I was waiting for you guys to be done with T7, because I'm like, I want to talk about T7 so much, because it's definitely one of those good example fights of it. I feel like Second Coil, in my opinion, is still the strongest raid tier they've done. Like, it is my most overall. I feel like that is the solid one, and I feel like Creator got closer to it.
I really like Creator,
but I really like easier. And so now people are like, oh my god, Creator is too easy, make the next thing harder. And Yoshi P looks at them like, what the game really needs is 3 difficulty tiers.
You think it's 3? Normal, medium, and savage?
Yeah, it needs a story. It needs a medium that is closer to what Creator or maybe Midas is, and then it needs a savage for people who are like harder.
Like I can't like how have you gotten through and cleared Second Coil Savage? Like how many people
Coil Savage?
How many people have cleared
No.
that? Like that just seems with how hard the normal stuff is, with how hard people are telling me T9 is going to be, and no spoilers guys, we haven't gone through yet. I can't imagine going through that again, Savage level.
T9 is actually, I'm not gonna spoil anything with it, but T9 is hard to go into blind. Because you're gonna have to learn each little thing, and there's a long list of things, and I won't even spoil that. But they'll become apparent over time. So
yeah, I just find it interesting in general.
When it comes to Savages, T9 is not the hardest of the Savages for Second Coil.
Really?
It is not. I think a lot of people say T7 is. T7.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, given how much you have to juggle in T7, you know, and like the calling out that we had to do and all of that. Oh man, I'm like, because I think I posed that question on the night we beat it. I'm like, man, I can't even imagine what Savage level of this is like.
At level, yeah, T9 is highlight video worthy, and at level, T9 is probably my favorite fight in the game.
Yeah, you said that.
I don't mean minimum level sync, but at level. Like, don't go in there at 60, go in there at 50. T7 is the hardest. Yeah. I haven't done Second Coil Savage. I didn't ever have a group interested in it, and I'm one of those people who will feel like I cheated if I go in there undersized. Even though it can still kick your ass undersized, I'll feel like I cheated.
That's why
because the only rewards are titles. I want to make sure that I've actually earned the titles.
No, I understand that, and that's why, like, when we were, like, I'm pretty new to the raiding game. Like, I didn't raid in any of the other MMOs that I've played. So, like, there was a point where some people were like, "Hey, let's just do T5." Like, we were like 12 hours in. It's like, "Hey, let's do T5 unsynced." I'm like, what was this investment for?
Yeah, no.
Otherwise, like, we could have just done that. And I kind of feel bad for the people that we take through just to unlock the second coil so they can be backups, because they won't have had the same experience that we did. But again, it's like that in time investment that we'd have to take them through and have to do it ourselves again. It's not like bringing somebody into A10.
One of the things that really interests me about watching you guys' synced runs is you are now bringing jobs in there that didn't exist at the time.
Oh, true.
So
yeah,
strategies
so you can
change a little bit.
Yeah,
and it's interesting to see it from that.
It's funny though how like bringing in a Dirk into T7 made that easier for me. But then for Valky in the chat, bringing in a machinist actually made it harder because we couldn't control the Rook. Like sometimes the Rook would take down the ogre ad, and then it's like, whoops, we don't have a wall anymore. And it took us a couple of wipes to realize, why is the thing going down? Oh, the Rook is attacking.
It's a turret. Okay, yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
So it was really interesting to see. It is really interesting to see people bring those in. I actually wonder how the fight would be different with an Astro, for instance. But both of our healers are white mages, so we don't get that little.
Yeah, don't get the cards. I could see cards really screwing up T7. Oh yeah,
like a
balance, especially a spread balance.
A spread balance. Yeah. those the Naga ads are done, and shit, the tank is gonna do a shitload more damage on the boss.
Because the Rookie to 7 was timing the Screech. Not voice, but Screech, the circle.
Yeah, Screech, yeah.
Because I love pushing a phase when a Screech is about to come out, and that's like, wait, there's no Renat over there, and we have an ad up.
Yeah, I love being able to talk about this now. Oh.
I was the bard.
You were the bard. Okay. Well, of course.
I have the PTSD of that fight because, see, back at 50, Bard's mobility led people to believe that they could be held responsible for more of the mechanics because there's no reason for them to stop DPSing even while they're moving.
Oh.
And so you either had a summoner that would throw miasma up on the Renaud to slow it as you were getting in position, which was fantastic. Or you had the bard kite it and then shadow bind it in place. And that was me.
That was you.
And I had to perfect because our group insisted on doing it that way, and it turned out to be the better way in the long run, but the 4-stack of Renauds, which is something that I don't know if you guys knew about. If you
the 4-stack of, I mean, we had Chavo building a wall and paying for it, but
if you place the Renauds on top of the same spot and you hit them with the voice, and they all get frozen if they're all within the same hitbox of each other. If you stack 4 of them, no more Renauds spawn. So as long as you keep the 4 frozen, you don't have to deal with it over and over. So
really,
yeah. Yes. That's how we got past it. Was we were like, okay, we don't have to worry about as long as the voices are still happening. We don't push phases and voices still happen when they're supposed to. 4 Renauds, boom. The key is being the kiter artist that can get them in the same
spot
while they're being hit. But I was watching you guys, and I was like, oh, nobody's killing the Renauds that are out of place, so that thing isn't going to get voiced, so it's going to just wake up and start beating on people in a second. And it's like I wanted to type something so bad here, too. I'm like, that thing's going to wake up on you. It's going to wake up on you. No. That combined with the fact that if you got petrified when the fight first came out and you took any damage, you died.
Oh, that's the nerf people were talking about.
Yeah.
So it would be oh man, I loved when I first ran into I forget which FF it was, but the petrification mechanic, and then you get hit once and you die. I'm like, oh, you break.
Yeah, you shatter.
You just shatter. I'm like, well. Oh crap!
Oh no, that was part of the dance. That was actually part of the dance. It was so great to see you guys overcome that fight because you guys learned the dance without anybody telling you. And that's why I love watching those streams so much. But I'm like, man, if they knew about the 4 Renaud stack.
And I think that's the big difference with like going into T10 or T10S or say A10S.
A10S.
And just like being told where to go versus like where the fuck do we go, which is why I'm really looking forward to going through with my group into the Omega raids, because I want to keep it blind for everybody, including myself. And if people want to do it a different way, sure, you're just not going to be on my team, but we're going to be learning this the same way we learned the coils.
Right. Yeah, that's also a good point. That's a topic.
Okay.
Because I always wanted to cover like the more I don't want to just be like the hardcore raid discussion.
Yeah, sure.
Here.
Yeah, of course.
Because we've got there are podcasts out there that cover that so well.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that the addition of more damage indicators is helping the game or hurting the game? Petrifaction, for instance, in T7 doesn't have a big eyeball over her head that says "look away."
I remember having to tell people that like guys, like everybody had played through most of Heaven's Ward, and they were trained to know that if you see four arrows, I remember I was the first one that told me it's like
stack.
That's stack.
That's
I remember when I went to E3 like last year, and I was barely getting the Heaven's Ward material, that like I had this little graphic at E3 before we fought their Sephiroth. And it said, yeah, if you see yellow, you go in. And then I started seeing it as I progressed through Heaven's Ward. I'm like, okay, they're standardizing this. And then we went to the coils, and I'm like, wait, they haven't always had this. Yeah, it's all different.
No. I love that marker. That marker is my favorite thing in the world. But I also love seeing how frustrated people get when somebody doesn't immediately understand the marker.
Yeah.
I'm like, they didn't progress through coil not having it and then move into new content and get it.
Mm-hmm.
They just started the game. And so I think it does help. It does help, especially CS says because they don't allow
third-party add-ons. Yeah.
But,
I mean, I like the standardization, but it does allow for what you just said, that if people don't see it, it's like I've seen it a million times. You've seen it this first one, but the fuck, you should know it already. Like, I went to World of Darkness with you the other day. You were running on stream, and I hopped into your group, and I went and during the Hydra fight, somebody gets a ball over their head for the lightning. Yeah.
there's no stack marker. People actually moved away from me when I moved to them because they didn't realize that's a stack mechanic.
Yeah, it's a stack mechanic, not a...
I actually had to hesitate and go, oh, wait, yeah, this is a stack. And so I went to find people, and they kept moving away from me because, yeah.
So, I mean, so... it does make a lot of the, like, the pre-3.0 content frustrating because you don't have those, I guess, helpers that we now have, and that they'll probably continue to do and mix up. I mean, in the Diabolos Hollow with having the my freaking green screen.
The arrow's going out and the purple circle, and you're like,
and you're like, wait, do I just do this? There? It's like, do I I do this? It's like,
let's see, but at the same time, it's basic. Well, I think when they started clearly marking what certain mechanics were, it became more apparent that they're pulling from the same pool of mechanics.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. That's actually one of my favorite things about some of the patches along Heavensward is the 2 dungeons you get. Yeah, you'd only get 2 dungeons. One of them always featured mechanics that you would find in a raid boss.
Yep.
They always had mechanics that would prepare you for one of the raid boss fights. I'm like I'm trying to remember exact mechanic. The bee fight in Arboretum. Got you watching the sides of the arena for stuff shooting in and stuff like that. Like it's yeah. And I'm like, I want them to keep doing that. I do want them to keep doing that.
It's smart. I like that. It's smart. It's very smart on their end to be doing that. Even though, yeah, but I think the thing is that, you know, people want all this content, but the content that they did put out, and I think this helps like the legacy of Heavensward, is the fact that the dungeons themselves, the mechanics were so well thought out, is because they did less. So it's like people were like bringing that to, like, say, the jobs, and why aren't there 3 jobs? Well, you know, it is a legitimate reason that if they have 2, we can expect that Samurai and Red Mage will be really well thought out jobs, rather than the, you know, I guess Astro was just kind of tacked on, right? If I remember correctly, and then they had to do the big rework a couple of patches ago.
Yeah, Astro. That's the reason why when everybody's like, "Why didn't we get a new healer?" I'm like, "Do you realize that they're still trying to find Astro's spot? They pulled a Blizzard. They over buffed it to get people to play it.
Yep.
That's what Blizzard does. Is Blizzard will over buff something and then drag it back down.
Yep.
And it's something I got really tired of. That's why I was like,
I got tired of that in StarCraft.
They'll be like, let's make this more appealing. Wait, that was too appealing.
Start to bring it back a little bit.
Now White Mage suffers. Yeah. Like, when people are like, it really disappoints me that they announced 2 DPS, and I'm like, well, we have 3 tanks, but Paladin isn't considered one of them. And we have 3 healers, and now White Mage is struggling.
Yeah. I would like to.
Why would you add a 4 to the mix? That's going to push Paladin and White Mage even further off into the void.
It's really interesting how that works, because you can just keep adding DPS and just give them like a little bit of a specialization, but tanks is like you can only specialize tanks and healers so much, and I think like they kind of covered the gamut with healers and with tanks.
I still want a stagger tank, and a melee healer.
Oh well, yeah, outside of actually changing, like, kind of like reworking some of the basics of the, you know, of the job in general, like just the general what can I say, use cases for each. Like there's a use case for, I guess there's, you know, a diminishing use case for Paladin, but there's a use case for Dark Knight, definitely in the Heavensward encounters, and then, you know, Warrior.
Right.
I think people were just like, they wanted, you know, I wanted Samurai to be tank so I could be a DPS that wasn't holding an axe. Like DPS tank that wasn't holding an axe, right? But that, you know, I'm not really thinking through, like, okay, if we added a 4th tank, how does that affect the others? You know, I'm not being paid to think about that. I'm just being paid to hit things.
It's like, well, yeah, I've got the katana. Okay, so it's a 2-hander. So it's another 2-hander tank.
Yep.
Okay, so is he parrying? Is he blocking? Is he like what is he? what parts of the game, what mechanics that exist in the game is he going to make use of, or are they going to have to introduce a new one just to fit him in?
Yep. I mean, I'm actually really interested in seeing, like, that's why the May live letter, this month's live letter is like the one that's most interesting, I guess, to everybody, because we get to finally see what changes are happening. You know, everybody's getting really, man, just like what people are pulling from the benchmark, which we did see, we talk about, like with all the skills, like I mean, I'm really excited about the warrior gap closer, and then now all the paladin mains are like, but we want one, but they haven't shown it yet. So it's like, let us wait to see later this month what they actually do. Like, how are they going to generalize skills? Is it going to make the roles more homogenous, actually, which is something I'm scared of.
It sounded like they announced a date for the live letter at the last live letter, but there must be some confusion there, or they're changing their mind, because when they put out the notice that says another live letter is coming, they said mid to late.
Mid to late?
Yeah, they said mid to late May. And I'm like, I wonder if they had to shuffle things around a little bit.
Yeah. Huh. Mid to late May.
Yeah, they said mid to late May. They actually said, and it's actually, I think it's actually in this blog post. The one with the dungeon.
Oh, the dungeon one? Okay.
Because it mentioned that they don't show off any of the job actions, and that we'll see more of them. Like, they keep dangling that in front of you.
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, we have job actions. They're then.
Something is preventing me from revealing information, so all I can say is that we're planning the next letter from the producer alive for mid to late May. Please look forward to it.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, they stopped saying a date and they said mid to late. And I'm like, oh, okay. As long as we get it, you know?
I was just looking at the pictures in this, and then it's like, aside from the new Black Mage skills, I wanted to let you know that Cleric Stance is message deleted and Asuna has message deleted.
Yep.
I mean, the fact that, like,
I'm like,
you mentioned it in the post as like a bait.
You're baiting us now.
You're baiting us that, like, Cleric Stance. And we all know that am I right that Yoshi P does not like Cleric Stance.
Well, but he doesn't like the insistence on like, because the question he gets the most is like, when are you going to give us more accuracy? When can we DPS more? He's like, why don't you want to heal? And I'm like,
why don't you want to do your job?
And I'm like, Yoshida, you can't sit here and tell me that you guys didn't put out fights that actually demand some healer DPS.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like, why are you so surprised when they ask for better ways to do DPS?
That's how
you
design the encounters.
And the other problem I have with it is that if we actually push healers back to just healer focus, they're going to be a bitch to level.
Yep, that's true.
That's why healers in WoW started doing more damage. It's like they want you to actually level them.
Yeah. I mean,
I would like, yeah, Savage demanded it. I wouldn't mind Cleric Stance going away. I think Cleric Stance is, it's either it's something they people get stuck on, or people value their contribution to the party based on how much they can have it up, which means they might be taking risks they shouldn't be taking.
Oh yeah, we have a, you know, we joke all the time about, like, you know, oh, I'm gonna be the Cleric Stance one, you're the main healer. Like Vampy says, you know, when I would heal with her when I was still learning healer, that it's like, okay, you're main healer and I can stay in Cleric Stance. Like, is that really the how two healers should work, like a main and a DPS healer? Because
you got I hate that they have to meld accuracy. I hate that there's this competition between in any content where there's two healers of who actually gets. Oh, I get to play DPS today! Yay! No, you're both in there as healers. You should probably want to play healer. Then if they don't make playing healer enticing, then you know, because when you're a black mage, you can be like, yes, 100% Enochian uptime. That's what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Because their role is DPS. When you're pushing for more DPS uptime in your role as healer, or more DPS uptime in your role as tank, I think you're kind of...
It's an interesting, like, I guess, mental thing, because, like, you know, having learned healer, and doing some raids, doing some of the creator raids without like really having any past like healing experience, like wouldn't. So you're saying with keeping like Eno-chan up 100%, that's like a a piece of success right there. It's like, but with trying to clear a healer check, it just seems like, having to hit that is a bigger stress creator. It's not a form of success. It's like you did it because you had to, or else everybody died. Rather than DPS checks where like, okay, I can like not be as good, but as a group, we're still going to pass this because somebody's DPS is going to be good enough. Or one person has to, rather than all four having to be at the top of their game. A healer has to be at the top of their game when it's a healer check.
Which is why I think that I don't want healers to stop DPSing. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want them like, oh my god, you're a healer, just heal. No, if you're having fun with your DPSing, DPS. I think that the issue is that healer checks already exist, and they're already stressful when they do exist, because messing up a healer check is failure. Messing up a DPS check is a little more downtime than you're expecting.
It's downtime. The fight's a little slower, but
so now if you are competing with yourself to also get good DPS uptime and keep up with healer checks, you're throwing yet another stressor on top of you. And I understand why healers hate so many DPS now. I'm just like, why are you so? I get why you're bitter towards DPS. It's because you've gotta bust your butt, and you're giving yourself the DPS expectations on top.
I agree. I just think there are two different value propositions there from a basic standpoint. That like we talk about Monk all the time being the selfish class, because all you got to do is hit something, and you don't have to worry about anybody else. And then once people like don't like playing ninja because they don't want to goad people. It's like once you introduce some type of utility into a class, it starts getting more stressful because you have to remember things other than hitting things. And a healer's 100% of that. And then you're starting to introduce, now you have to DPS on top of being 100% utility. Like there's the value proposition on being good at that class is like, it's crazy to me. That's why like for white mages, what was it? The vault was so crazy, but people would be like, oh, this is the gauntlet because this is like everything's a fucking heal check.
Right. I want to bring out Silver Wolf says that cleric stance is a hit or miss. It's the same for tanks. Your job is in a DPS. Tanks are masochists at like getting hit, and healers are bandits. I think that to add what Brian's been saying, I think tanks actually have less of the pressure on them than healers do, in that regard, in that sense, because tanks get to continue to add DPS even if it's not their biggest DPS as they're tanking. The process of tanking allows them to continually contribute.
It's innately there. Yeah.
They might not get the chance to drop their stance and add more DPS to it, but they get the DPS. If a healer doesn't go into cleric stance and throw a few offensive spells, then they're not.
There's nothing there. Yeah.
And so you look at the tank and the healer as like the cornerstone of the group, but you're actually like side-eyeing the healer because you're like, that healer didn't throw. And I've done it myself. I'm like, man, that final boss fight in Somal Hard took a little bit longer than usual because the healer didn't DPS at all, because the healer was watching out for tank bust. And it was like, man, that fight could have gone quicker. And I'm like, wait, he healed. We lived.
Yeah, that's the kind of healer that I am. Like, I just want to worry about one thing. Like, I come into healing with a tank mentality because the tank mentality is like, keep my aggro up, and that's it. Just keep my aggro up and making sure that nobody else is getting, positioned it correctly so nobody else is getting damaged. As a healer, I'm like, I just want to keep people up, really. It's like, I'll get a few in, but then there's always that, cleric stance is up, and I did a medica, or I assized with with cleric stance on. So, I mean, I personally like to just be a straight healer, but yeah,
I've had moments from the other side of it where I don't directly say it to people. I barely ever type in game. That's why I'm thankful for stream, because if I want to say something, I say it to my stream chat, and I'm not typing to the asshole over here.
Yeah, same.
Or being the asshole typing to the asshole. Sorry for the language, but that's it. That's that. There's no other clean-cut way to put it, but
Yeah.
I've had a few moments where I'm like, man, how did you get out DPS'd by the limit break? When I'm looking at healers. And I'm like, wait, why am I pressuring the healers to do that? I don't know. But yeah, like it's like DPS, tank, limit break, healer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally vowed to myself personally that I wouldn't do that, but you just do it innately. It's just human nature to just do that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I pulled, like every other time I came into this fight, I pulled my weight, and now I'm pulling my weight and nobody else is. What the
nobody
hell
else
is going
is,
on?
Nobody says thank you at the end of the dungeon when I have the bard songs up for every pull, but in the dungeons where I miss a pull with the bard song, somebody reminds me that I didn't bard song. They're like, you have songs too, you know, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't say please.
You didn't say, not going ballad. Just ballad win. So that actually, this kind of is a weird segue to go into new job actions, but Yoshi has already confirmed that cleric stance is staying.
True.
And if we look back at the actions that White Mage got from 50 to 60, 2.5 if you count size were DPS actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Stone 3, SIs,
Arrow
3.
Arrow 3. So it's like, are you telling us to heal, or are you telling us to DPS? And do you think that the 5 new actions from 60 to 70 on White Mage are gonna lean more towards DPS? Or do you think they're gonna lean more towards healing? And what is left to do with White Mage healing right now?
That's what I'm kind of thinking, is that, you know, have we trained people that you're going to be getting skills every 2 levels now? Or like, you know, when we're in 5.0 ready to take the Garlean Empire, are we going to have yet another 5? And I think they did address that at FanFest. They don't want that to happen. They don't want another 5 skills. So are they going to change? Sure, we already know that they're going to rework skills, that they're going to remove ones that are antiquated, but are they also going to change the progression? Like, are we going to be getting 3 skills instead of 5, or 2 skills instead of 5? Like I think like those are very definite sort of ways to go if they don't want to bloat things. I think they discovered Heavensward bloated a lot of things, like item levels, for instance. And I heard that they're going to kind of step back in order to avoid the WoW thing.
The item level gap is going to be the same, but the stat progression is going to be more even.
Oh, okay, that's what it was. The stat progression rather than.
I think what they're doing is, for those item levels, they're reducing the stat budget that is available within an item level.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I look at their gear and I'm like, do they even have a stat budget, or do they just ballpark numbers? I'm like, this piece from the diadem says that it's 280, but it has 290 stats on it.
I'm not gonna touch that until they stop putting parry on shit for tanks.
No, parry everywhere. Parry everywhere. Yeah. This morning I went to spend extra Proto Ultima bindings to buy accessories for, you know, any other job.
Yeah, because that's what we got into.
Yeah, and I just happened to just pass over the fending ones, and I'm like, don't want that one. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. Don't want that one. I'm like, oh, these are 270 accessories. Yay. Parry, and parry. I don't know if the decision was made early on for what stats were going to be on what pieces.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if gear was planned well before these patches. Right?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because it
how far
bothers me to see how prevalent parry is when that is often brought up as the stat that is not working correctly. I'm like,
yeah.
So I wonder if this work was already done, or if they're just like, nah, we're just going to continue to throw parry on it. And like, And
how far in advance?
How far in advance do you think they do that? Because Yoshi said several times, it's like, no, parry is not living up to what we want it to be, and yet new tier of rating comes out, new set of gear comes out, parry.
Yep. I don't know. I actually think with that, yeah, they probably just have frameworks for the pieces of gear they're going to release, and then they just add, obviously add the artwork later, but they could have these things planned out like months in advance of patches, but I guess we'll never really know.
We'll never know. You think? I don't know if they'll ever answer that kind of question about the
no,
plot. They might. I don't.
If phrased
kind of funny,
correctly, yeah, maybe.
It's kind of funny because there are opportunities for people to ask about what the process, and they've done panels on it before, where they've come with presentations for that sort of thing. But usually when people get the ability to ask questions openly, they ask where their butt sliders are, and if they're going to be able to put 50 more trees in their yard.
Yep.
And their account was banned.
Yeah.
Could you fix it?
Something's never changed, my friend. Oh yeah, when's parser support?
When's parser support? Never. It's the reason we don't have add-ons. I think it's the primary, that and Sony, but I think it's the reason we don't have add-ons. I think they want to be very careful about what they open people up to, and if they only let people change the appearance of the UI in add-ons. What race is Gosetsu? We need to know that. What race is Gosetsu? And will he have Cure 4? What is Cure 4 gonna do?
What? I know that. I mean, like, they were mentioning Medica 3 and Medica 4, but like, okay, add that. But then people are, what freaking thing? When now it's just this. This will be a meme soon. I don't know. Medica 3 and 4. It's like, what's how are you going to make that? It's like Cure 3. Like, I was told, first off, take Cure 3 off your bar because you're never going to use it.
Cure 3 is very situational. It's super situational.
Yeah, I only use it.
It's great when you get the right time to use it. Like, everybody's stacked on Zervan's butt. Like, but they don't need they usually don't need that healing when they're there unless they screwed something up.
Yeah.
But they're there. Like, it's not very often that you run into raid-wide damage and stack. Maybe Nidhogg.
But still, it's like you're saying that, like, so Perfect is saying that, yeah, use it in A10S, but yeah, for stack mechanics, but it still seems very, I mean, you have the longer cast time, a very limited AoE.
Yeah, I don't think take it off your bar is too far. That's the joke. That's the
meme.
The
joke is the meme. Bar. Take it off your bar. It's useless. But yeah, I just like.
But
what would Cure 4 do?
What would Cure 4 do? That's what I'm like looking at Cure 4 in sense of the progression of things there. And if Cure 4 is a heal that drops a regen, then it's Medica.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to give White Mage bubbles. That's Scholar. And Astro, but not Astro.
That's what I was talking about with the
I wouldn't mind
homogenizing these.
I wouldn't mind it being like an AoE Tetra on a long cooldown. That'd be kind of cool.
Oh.
Something like Indomitability that Scholar has, but without the shielding. Well, you got Sucker and you got Indomitability. Yeah. Who treats Astro like I do? It's like well, it's because outside of the cards, Astro is White Mage and Scholar with a little bit more White Mage leaning.
Yep.
Like the cards are what set it aside.
Yeah.
From the others, there's the cards and the extended duration and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shielding and the direct heals are already taken care of.
Fourth healer when?
Yeah, but if they're also adding Medica 3 or 4 and Cure 4, it's sounding more or less meh. Right, if they go Cure 4 route, which we've seen mobs use Cure 4 and we've seen books and game refer to Cure 4. We know Cure 4 is a magic that actually existed in the world and the Amdapori used it.
Yeah.
So there's lore reason to throw Cure 4 in there.
Yeah, but what does it actually do from a, like...
If Medica 3 or Medica 4 is just buff Medica 1 and 2, then 1 and 2 will just receive buffs. They're trying to reduce button bloat, not increase it. I don't know why I'm focusing on White Mage so much. I don't play a lot of White Mage.
I guess it's a good example, honestly.
It's the one thing with, like, new abilities are coming, but what?
I mean, let's look at Paladin, for instance. They got their own bear, they got Divine, and then they had Clemency. So, and now we have this, like, holy type, Flash 2 or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, so Pallies are now moving in this direction.
Yeah, it looked like it had a cast bar, though. And let me tell you how many cast bars I'm going to use during tanking rotations. If I'm gathering mobs AoE, I don't have time to use a cast bar, because if one of you guys hit it, it's taking off and running, and now the AoE that I just cast missed it as it ran off.
Use that when you can take a breath, and you usually can't.
Yeah,
especially when your composition includes a bard or a black mage that doesn't have quelling, or it's like it's the situational.
If it's an AoE ability and it has a cast bar, it automatically invalidates itself, because if you have time during an AoE pull to use a cast ability to generate more AoE threat, then you've already established AoE threat.
That's a very good point.
That's my take on that. You know what? If they gave the white mage something barrier-like, I would love to see a reflect barrier. I would love to see them be able to throw a smaller heal with an amount of damage reflect.
I mean, we have that on warriors with vengeance. So
yeah.
Vengeance into blood.
Like when the white mage in the video threw something on the paladin, I'm like, is that just a bigger regen, or is it a barrier, or is it what? You can't tell because all white mage heals look the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the white mage cast a heal spell.
Oh.
I would love to see reflect barriers, even if it was specifically magic reflect or something like that. So you brace for the big tank buster by actually giving the tank a little bit of reflect.
Yeah, no, I can see that. What I also want to see with tanks, for instance, is just like more, I don't know. We have Silverwolf in there who's I guess one of the minority who really likes Paladin the way it is, and the more he talks about it, the more I'm like, maybe like I agree with him to a point, because a lot of the things with Paladin is that Paladin can't do the DPS that Dirk and obviously Warrior can, but again, it depends on encounter design. One can only hope that instead of they could either design it that the encounter design starts going towards things that you need paladins for more, or they give Paladin a DPS.
An ability that I would love to see on black mages, I don't know why this just came to mind, is Embrava. Maybe it'll go on red mages, who knows?
And Embrava?
Okay, so it costs 20% of your max MP to gradually restore HP and MP and increase attack speed. Maybe they can give that to white mages, who knows? It's both a HP and MP refresh that also gives you haste. I would love to see Embrava.
Haste. Haste is a thing. Haste as a general thing.
As opposed to just the arrow card?
Yeah. The thing is, if you add haste to the game, it's almost game breaking in the sense that you will always have that the person who can do that in your setup.
Where did that come from?
The black mage action, blowing up your own ley lines or something like that. I
do see that the ley lines has turned. I wonder if you could sacrifice ley lines for something. Like, you're going to have to move. You're going to leave your ley lines behind because of AoEs. Oh.
Huh. Where is he seeing this from?
That's what I want to know where that came from.
Where is this
I
coming
want to know
from?
where that came from. Happy, what the hell?
The SF event is not for another 2 weeks. Where are you getting this from?
Right.
Dude?
Where's this? I do remember there's a little cheeky comment in the Dungeons blog about how they couldn't show off job actions because they were too distracted with the dungeons, and that Yoshi P actually during the dungeon run said that some of the black mage abilities
are just too flashy, and
they wanted to tone them down.
And then all the summoners in the world, you can just hear them all crowd at the same time.
Sacrifice MP for improved ley lines. Sacrifice it for
MP. Sacrifice MP though.
Sacrifice anything for MP on black mage is pointless. Black mage has infinite MP.
Yeah, it's just part of your. That's what I've found regarding, my.
Okay.
With my learning of black mage, that's what I've realized, is that, yeah, you're not out of MP. You just need to find a point to refresh it, and that's 2 clicks and you're done. Ley lines being down during an LB?
What? I wonder what that's all about, though. That's like 3 pillars. Is that pillars of light shooting down or shooting up? Up.
I would say.
Look at these 2 nerds. Yep.
I would say down.
Down?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the dome at the bottom.
Oh, it looks like more like an impact point.
It looks more like an impact point rather than a formation point.
Yeah.
Dispelling ley lines to reduce ley line cooldown. Ley line cooldown is what? It's like is it 90?
I would love if some of those things were toggleable though, Chavo. I honestly would. If you're I used my battle voice here, but we're not gonna get the full benefit of battle voice. Can I go ahead and just turn battle voice off and perhaps save some time on the cooldown? That'd be cool.
I can see the only thing I can see with that is just like, hey, if people forget to do that, it's like, all of a sudden it turns into the cleric stance dance, but for everybody else, it's like you're not turning it off when you need it. You're not. I'm trying to think of it from that end.
If it's just lower cooldown, then it's actually a wasted action. It's a wasted button push.
Yeah.
Like if you really have to move out of ley lines, you're not going to stop to push the button to cancel the ley lines unless it's going to do something really devastating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that could be. It does look like it's related to ley lines though, because look, it changed the graphic on ley lines.
It did.
Ley lines doesn't have the gold lining. It's all void and purple.
Yep.
That void seems to be their kind of magic they're going into right now.
Yeah, they're starting to progress into that, which is great with going through the story and like they're talking all about that, and that maybe that's just the next step.
Yeah, they talk about void magic a lot in the black mage story, but you don't see a lot of it.
No.
Actually.
Nope.
I noticed that too.
Interesting. Very interesting, Mr. Happy.
I just want to type in. Where did you get that?
Where did you get this? Where did you get this picture?
Is there something new on Reddit I'm missing?
I don't know.
No. So let's go down the list. We know white mage. We have no idea what white mage is happening. What's happening with white mage?
No.
None. Like we don't even know what the ability it casts does. We don't even get a sense of that. It just it has a targetable ability that it casts on the paladin. That's white mage. Okay, the paladin does look like it's a mini holy.
Paladin does look like a mini holy. Oh, Yoshi P is teasing. All right, that's what it is. Thank you, Valky.
Oh yeah, you can do job actions in the group pose now.
You can't.
one
Oh,
of the
you
things that's
can't.
coming.
Oh, I like that.
So you don't have to time it. Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, what was that? Either Flash 2 or yeah, some kind of almost holy
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Flash 2 bothers me because it's like, is that another blind?
Oh god.
I didn't see anything immediately on Reddit, but okay. Yeah, you got it from Reddit.
Let's see, going down the list. Dark Knight has the I can put a shield around you now.
Okay. Am I the only one that feels that is kind of a waste of an ability slot?
It's just like, hey, you're off. You are now.
I'm like,
I think it is.
If I drop aggro, I'm throwing provoke first. I'm not throwing a bubble at the person taking hits.
Gino says it's the Dirk cover.
If I'm off tank, I'll throw that on the main tank.
Yeah, no. He threw it on the Sam.
He threw it on the Samurai.
But the Sam was pretty much the Sam was pretty much tanking that fight anyway.
Yeah, we don't know if it is gonna be their version of cover. There's a few instances where cover is actually very useful. Where there's mechanics that do damage to people who shouldn't be taking damage, but if it's just cover with a bubble, then
I could see it like for
it's nice that they have it.
It is nice that they have it. Yeah.
What would be
I would
really
see it like
cool,
a cover.
What would be really cool is if it was like cover with a bubble that if the Dark Knight got MP back, that if damage was done to it.
Oh, that would be I'd be casting that all the damn time. Just give me more ways to refresh my MP. I'm gonna let
that mob drift from the AoE pack. So
yeah, it's like, here, get hit by that, Black Mage. Go get hit.
Give me MP back. Give me
you can
MP
be a
back.
BLT while I take all of the MP. A magic damage. A magic damage.
It actually blocks it. It actually does.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Ninja got a frog.
The frog. So,
what is left for Ninja to do? Like, is it single target? Is it AoE? Does it leave a debuff? AoE
I actually had a thought
would be kind of cool.
I actually had a thought that if they were adding a fourth Mudra, that the fourth Mudra would be summons. Like, maybe it's not just a frog. Maybe there are two others with some more combinations.
Oh no! So a fourth Mudra button.
I know, I kind of say fourth Mudra just because it would trigger Chavo there, but how? But it looked like a Mudra. It looked like a Mudra.
There aren't any unused combination with the three Mudras, are there?
No, they're not. They're all covered. I mean, granted, there are a couple that are like you can do 2 or 3 for combinations to get the same effect. But if they start replacing ones, people are gonna get confused all the time. You wanna bolt them with lightning, you get a frog instead. Hey, say goodbye to your muscle memory. But no, it looked like, it was. You can't really argue that it looked like a Mudra. Is
that a standalone ability or a fourth Mudra? Oh god.
I know everybody doesn't want a fourth Mudra. I don't want it either. I know Jen doesn't want it. She mains Ninja. It's like
incoming thinking time for what Mudra? Well, the fourth Mudra would add at least 10 new possible combos, which means it's probably not a fourth Mudra. That's actually a good point. And the fourth Mudra is also the forbidden Mudra that is used in the Ninja story. Spoilers.
True. Yes.
Which also had a shadow clone jutsu effect.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to shadow clone the ninja. Even if they attack the same target you were attacking, I would love to turn one ninja into 3 for a bit and they just mirror your moves. That would be
really cool.
That'd be a fantastic cool.
Man, I'd have a little Chavo doing what I bid it to do. Oh. Little Chavo Lalafell. 3 of them.
3 of them.
Oh, I want that. Hair. I like that idea.
What the hell is my hair right now?
Whoa.
It's done.
That's why I'm looking forward, because I have that shit going on with my hair too. At times, like this piece right here. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't like a fourth Mudra. It could just be I don't know. I don't know. Like, it could only be at the end or like a modify. I don't know. Like, anything I'm thinking of is just making it a lot more complex in my head. But I mean, the way the frog came out.
I didn't actually see any hand gestures for it.
Did you not?
No.
YouTube video
No.
time. YouTube video.
Yeah, that's
I gotta
the
check
problem.
this out. I thought I saw hand gestures, but I could very well be wrong.
I hope you are. I mean, what? No.
I hope I'm wrong. I really. There wasn't. It just popped out. Okay. Just popped out. Be cool if there were more than just a frog. How about that bard skill, by the way? I'm passing by the YouTube video again. What do you think of the 5 arrow?
The 5 arrows.
Guardians of the, like Yondu type thing.
I think it looks cool. I'm like, wait, did we Imperial Arrow? Like, is it just, did they just like, okay, we want to reduce some of the ability, our button bloat on Bard, and we don't want, like, Barrage is only used for Imperial Arrow. So we'll just remove Barrage, make Imperial Arrow a standalone ability, and then give them an ability that is on a cooldown that has the effect of Barrage plus Imperial Arrow. I'm like, what new does it add? It's another arrow shot. It does look like it's single target. It's very obviously single target.
Yeah.
So it's another fancy hit. There's only so much you can do with bows and arrows, though.
Yeah,
you
true. Yeah,
like,
I was wrong. I was wrong. It looked like they finished like Dancing Edge or something, and then the frog came out. But like, my God, like, is that has to be an off global, right? Because otherwise you're just gonna see popping frog out in somebody's rotation and like over and over and over again. It has to be
it's
off.
either an off global or a combo finisher. And after Dragoon having a 4th button finisher, I don't know if they're gonna do that again.
Oh, link to the YouTube video, sure.
That's actually good. Yeah.
Here we go. This is just the video of the benchmark. So you can, handy tip for YouTube, use period and comma to go back and forth a frame.
Oh.
Yep.
You're watching the frame by frame now?
I am watching the frame by frame.
But
yeah, yeah, Bard flashy skill. There's a tether there. From the scholar? Oh yeah, the pet tether.
That's from the
pet tether. Yes,
pet tether.
That's another thing. The pet tether.
Okay, so here's what I think the pet tether is going to be. I don't think it's a cover. A lot of people are thinking like it's a cover. I think what it is I think it's going to be very focused healing. Like the pet will stop casting individual heals and will go emergency heal one target for you. That way, if your attention gets split between picking 2 people back up, you throw the pet at one and you pick the other one back up. That's what I'm getting the gist of from that. Or it's some kind of supercharge. Like it gives you like one of the pet buffs, like the pet spring haste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sinistry.
Sinistry.
Like Sinistry. That's what I was thinking. It's like the scholar version of Sinistry, where you're like, I want the pet on that target, I'm healing that target, boom, they're both picked up. Bacon of Light.
A beacon of light. This is kind of like, I don't know, I have just like a small fear of just them homogenizing the classes. In that all a class is then now is just the different style of it, with like 1 or 2, like the only thing that will differentiate a scholar from the other 2 is a pet. The only thing that will differentiate an Astro is is the cards. The only thing that'll differentiate a paladin from a Dark Knight is, if they equalize the DPS numbers in some way, would be like the rare use case that the encounter would require one or the other. It's like we're coming up with so many. This looks like this, right? This looks like Sinistry. This looks like
right, and we could be way off on it.
We could definitely, yeah. This is totally
nobody was
based on speculation.
Nobody was expecting Celine to get the AOE dot removal. Like that actually came as like when Heavensward came out. That that was a out of left field. It was
really okay.
Because it wasn't ever like even in the little job videos they put out when they were doing their press tour and stuff like that, they didn't really mention pet abilities at all. They were focused on the scholar abilities.
Yeah.
And then people got their hands on the game in like an early play event and took a picture of the screen. It's like, oh look, Celine actually AoE removes debuffs.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was just thrown out. It was just thrown in. And it's like that's actually pretty cool. So there's probably a million and one things out there that they're probably going to do, and they're not telling us about.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can't give us the full rundown of every exact battle change, but
well, no.
But I look at the Bard ability, and I'm like, that looks cool. Unless they're coming up with some kind of new debuff, or dot that affects bosses, it's another big attack button to push.
Yeah. It's weird because we're only like, I don't know, I guess from your standpoint, having played WoW, like how does WoW differentiate over however many expansions that they've had? Like, do they like, because I can see like if the precedent is set, if they don't like just say, given the precedent of ARR going into Heavensward and then Heavensward going into Stormblood, when Stormblood goes into 5.0, like
WoW stopped giving abilities. WoW stopped giving abilities. WoW actually took abilities away.
Really? Okay.
They're doing what I think 14 is doing right now. When 14 said we're going to get rid of abilities that are not useful or used like not, I really think we're going to see that. We're going to see fewer buttons on everybody's bars. Only they're throwing some more abilities in as well. But yeah, WoW moved away from like, okay, new expansion, here's a bunch of new abilities. In Draenor, they gave you Draenor perks that rolled randomly as you leveled up or something like that. It was weird. It was like, so it was like a trait. It was like a trait that your character got.
Yeah.
But you didn't get them in the same order as everyone else, but you ended up getting them at the end or something. It was weird. I didn't play during Draenor. I don't know what's going on with that. I just know that they didn't give abilities during that. And we probably will eventually see the 14 expansion that's like, no, the jobs aren't getting new abilities, they'll get new traits, or the abilities will trigger in different ways. WoW also has the benefit of classes having specs. Which is also probably a really big downside too. Is like, well, what do you give this spec over that spec? But what they do is they end up, when they're consolidating abilities, they'll actually say this ability fits this spec's thematic more, and they'll just move it over there. Okay. And so now not every mage has to worry about having Arcane Explosion now, because Arcane Explosion is just on the Arcane mages. Interesting. And so if they do add new abilities, they can be like, okay, this is the fire version of X ability, and this is the arcane interpretation of this fire ability. And that's how they get away with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, leave it to, at least 14 has a precedent in like watching WoW grow that, they can
right. It's got the benefit of seeing it grow, that
of hindsight.
Yeah. I'm like the last new thing I remember Mage getting was like frickin' Frostfire Bolt, and then Frostfire Bolt is gone.
So you had it for a little bit, and then they just took it away because they like, whoops, we made a mistake. Or
It's like, oh, I mean, and then this time around they gave you the artifact weapon, and the artifact weapon has one ability on it. So it was very smart of them to do that. It's like, yeah, we give them the new ability they want, but we also tie it into this weapon, which is the relic weapon, but WoW style.
Yeah. Yep.
And
seeing those.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see. I bet we will see 5 full buttons. I think they said we're going to see 5 full buttons this time around, but that's not going to hold up long.
Really,
unless they go further into introducing unique mechanics to classes that further that class's lore and style.
That's what I would like to see, honestly.
Like different kinds of resource bars, or different mechanic triggers, so that you run into less of, oh, okay, this is like Ninja's Aeolian Edge, but it's for this class.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to see. Like
Right.
I'm something that we haven't really talked about. I don't think really anybody's talked about because they haven't talked about it. The UI changes. And I've, being a designer, like I am all over the UI changes, especially with the deprecation of, or the sunsetting of PlayStation 3. The fact they were able to add active UI information elements, and then the one part of the FanFest keynote that really got me was like Yoshi P saying, "I don't want Dragoons looking at staring at their hotbar to see when Blood for Blood is when the cooldown's up."
Right.
So how are they going to change that?
Right. Is it going to be the 14 version of power auras, aka weak auras, aka WoW is a good frame of reference here, but it's a horrible frame of reference because if somebody hasn't played it, it's like, well, what do you explain it to them as? There was an add-on called Power Auras that lets you put images on screen based on when certain things were happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So you could put like 2 arcs of fire around that would appear in the center of the screen around where your character is standing when they had this fire proc up.
Okay.
And it was used so widely that Blizzard just cannibalized it and put it in the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
At the very basic form. And so now procs show up that way. And I think, when I think of when 14 says UI changes are coming to show you your abilities, that's immediately what comes to mind. I think when if you've got Blood of the Dragon up, or if you've got disembowel on a target, and you're searching through like the 14 little debuff icons that are on the boss. Okay, it's got the green number. This one's mine, and I have to, I'm staring there instead of watching the fight. Yeah. I think it's more like it might actually be like, it could be like a ticking bar. It could be like a set of...
That's what I thought of. But what that also does, what else allows, like them actually programming that into the game, could make it so that certain skills can display that kind of information in different ways, rather than having to watch, the little circle ticker or the little debuff ticker. Like they could get...
Yeah, they could get really fancy with it too. They can make your UI like you could freaking have a dragon on your screen to further go with the whole, like they could go completely wild with this because it's all done internally, you know. And that's why I want to see something of this new UI, because they keep saying new UIs, and I'm like, show me one.
Yep.
And I think that the reason they're waiting on showing us them is because they're also going to be tied into the new abilities as well. But that's where you get like, okay, maybe this class that they just announced has a third resource to it, like another resource that isn't MP or TP, but is a new one that shows up only in this UI element for just them, because it's a mechanic that only applies to them.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm excited to see the UI changes and see what they're doing with that.
Same here. That's pretty much exactly why, because it opens up the door for so many different things that they could do. Granted, they seem, in UI design at least, they seem to have been able to constrain themselves to a certain style or certain types of UI, but maybe that's because of the PS3.
Yeah, I will say that props to them for giving us a customizable UI out the gate, though.
Yeah, true.
You had to fight for that in WoW. That's what add-ons were for.
Oh, really? You had to fight for you couldn't customize your UI at all by default in WoW.
Well, you could turn bars on or off, but like the whole idea of like moving bars and moving like a screen, and still like the default UI in WoW has come a long ways, but it's still it's nowhere near as good as 14's in that regard. Resizing elements, moving elements where you want it. No, that's still done through add-ons.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I know. Yeah. I'm learning a lot about WoW too today.
Yeah. Well, I use it as an example because you know Yoshi P sitting there going like, okay, what can we borrow from them that actually will allow us to maintain our own identity here? And I always told people that 14, when I first started playing ARR, felt like early WoW but with polish. And I think for everything that's like, well, WoW's been doing this for 10 years and they have this now. Why doesn't 14 have it? 14 came out of the gate with stuff that WoW took forever to get to.
Yeah, because they had the benefit of inspiration, whereas WoW had to be like, well, let's try this and let's throw this at the wall and see if it sticks.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see where these new abilities go. I don't have any speculation other than the fact that it looks like the Machinist Flamethrower is another AoE that is going to animation lock you in place. And they already have one of those.
Yeah, I've
that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've talked with a few machinists about the flamethrower, and a lot of them were like, eh. Some people are like fire, and the other people are like, eh.
I would really like if they moved along the Edgar from 6 or Prompto line of things, and their new 5 abilities are just gadgets. Bioblaster, flamethrower, chainsaw.
I would really like to see stuff like that. I think that adds a lot of identity, because like I think the identity of the machinist right now is still like you're a bard with a gun.
A bard with a gun, yeah.
And you have some like little rooks or turrets that you can throw out. But I think like really doubling down on identity is what I'd love to see them do. And like what better class to start that kind of that path with than with samurai? Because if they create new UI for like samurai skills and stuff like that, like it'd be a great way to bring all these other classes into being able to establish identities for the different classes that are above and beyond just like, what can I do to hit this thing?
Give Monk more utility. I saw.
It seems like you're in the minority for that, right? Or no? It's like
I saw that Monk had another utility button for itself. I think everybody can obviously make out that what Monk did in the benchmark was give itself instant Grease Lightning 3. That's what it looked like. Because they immediately went into the tornado kick. Not that the attacks have to follow logic in a benchmark video.
No.
But that's what it really looked like, was like, here's my 3 stacks, which is going to be great for them. It'd be really cool to pop a button and get instant 3 stacks.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome. That's fuck all for the rest of the party.
Yep. Like, great for you, Monk. You can hit things quicker. You don't have to worry about building that stack up anymore.
I think they need it, but I think they also need some I help the party buttons. Something.
Mantra?
Give us stacks or give us death. Yeah, like out of that, like warrior charge, okay. Gap closer is going to be crazy good for them.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good call, but like it's like okay. I'm like I'm probably going to see that thing used more in PvP than PvE. I mean,
the gap closer, yeah.
Yeah, and in PvE you're just getting rid of Tomahawk. You're just replacing Tomahawk with a charge.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like if you're pulling a boss and your choices are charge or throw an axe and run in.
Yeah, but plunge doesn't generate enmity though. If I remember correctly.
That's fair.
Yeah, plunge.
So
like
unleash is still.
Because like with that logic, then unleash would unmend would be obsolete too, because unmend is the single target enmity generator. But I plunge anyway, and then I unleash because that's cooler looking.
Yeah, see.
So it's not a replace. Yeah, it's a replacement in that you just do. Yeah, you wouldn't use Tomahawk because you'd use the gap closer, and then you'd still have time to
unmend. I unmend when plunge is on cooldown.
Yep. Well, I unmend when I'm like, hey, somebody's running away. Poop, and then they just come over, and yeah, it's like
that's where Tomahawk would be.
Yeah.
Provoke Tomahawk.
Mm-hmm.
Plunge and unleash is the Splum main talk. Yes. Unmend and plunge. If you're fast enough on the buttons, just then go in. Yeah. I'm like, charge it. It's great. It's great. But it's kind of expected. It's like, yeah, that's warrior.
Yeah, they get a gap closer. Yep.
I'm gonna see a lot of it in PvP. It's just somebody's just gonna like charge right up to you, then they're gonna home gang so you can't run away, and then they're just gonna fell cleave you in the face like 14 times.
Yep, pretty much. New rotation for for PvP for warrior right there.
If we're talking about button consolidation, can we please put the warrior abilities on the same buttons, but have the button change based on which stance they're?
I've heard that one a lot.
Put was it Steel Cyclone and the other AoE one?
Yeah.
On the same button?
Mm-hmm. As crap, I forget just the one that the AoE for the AoE Fell Cleave.
Decimate
and Fell Cleave versus Inner Beast and
Steel Cyclone.
Steel Cyclone, yeah.
Yeah, put Inner Beast and Fell Cleave on the same button.
And they should change depending on what stance you're in.
What stance you're in, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, without having to do the weird macro stuff, which you can't do on controller anyway. I don't believe.
Well, they said here they're like it's not like they can't say that the system isn't already in place. Jugulate changes on Ninja based on which
that's
poison is
true.
up.
Granted, the icon doesn't change.
Yeah, the icon doesn't change. But
yeah, they would just have to implement the icon changing, and then boom, you have it. Yeah, but yeah, I would love them on the same button. It would make it so much easier for me rather than be like, oh, here's this. Because I'm off tank, I'm off tank most of the time in raids, but when I have to provoke and become main tank, I'm like, oh yeah, I try to press Fell Cleave, but I'm like, nope, not working because I'm not in the right stance.
Oh yeah, Mug changes too. I forgot.
Yeah, Mug changes. Yep, as well.
Oh well. Nobody uses Mug. I mean, well, everybody uses Mug, but nobody
actually uses Mug. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there because there's an off GCD. It's not there because anybody cares about the effect of Mug.
Yeah.
You just put up your poison and you mug.
Mm-hmm. That's what I learned pretty quickly. Like, I thought I could use it. No.
No.
You just throw it in there because you can.
Can we just take hide off the bar?
Oh yeah, hide. It's really
delete hide.
Really cute though that a returner to the game, streamer like Faustus. I don't know if you know who he is. We got him back into the game and he played as a ninja. Got him back, and like we ran a dungeon with him, and he would hide before every encounter, before every trash pull. It was cute. Like you don't have to do that, but like that's somebody's interpretation of the skill, and I love that.
And I'm like, that's exactly what I think you would do with it. And the second that you get automatically revealed at the beginning of any boss pool, invalidates hide.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Might as well just take hide out of the game, put sneak and trick attack on the same button, and it trick attacks if you do it from the back, and it sneak attacks if you do it from the front or flank. Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be a nice consolidation, definitely. You still get an effect even if you're not, great with your positionals yet. It allows you to not just like kind of whiff.
Yeah. Whiff a trick. Oh. Set up a trick attack and the boss turns to throw an AoE at somebody or a debuff at somebody. At the
and then you whiff. Yeah, I've had that happen. I'm like, wait, why didn't this go off? And I mean,
I'm like on my screen, I was behind him.
Yeah, and like that was happening to Jen in T7. Like she would try to pop trick attack because they had kind of taught her the rotation, and then all of a sudden like she's like, why didn't it pop? And it could be very well because of that. It just boss turned and nope, it's totally on me. But
I won't get into T9 mechanics, but that was T9 for me. I main ninja in T9. I was ninja main then. I don't know a lot about 60 ninja, but 50 ninja was my jam.
I like 60 ninja much more than 50 ninja. Armor Crush.
Yeah,
like, come on.
Yeah.
Armor Crush just takes that overhead away.
I have to sit down and focus on it because it throws off my timing. It throws off because I have the level 50 timing in my mind, and now I'm like, oh, I don't actually have to spend a ninjutsu here on Hutan.
Yeah.
I cried so many times when the boss rotates at the last second.
I have to apologize for every time that I do that when that happens.
Other than that, Yoshi P's giving us the D. That's the other news.
Yep. Oh wait, isn't that like weekly? It's like new on the new. Like the headline will always be Yoshi P giving us the D.
I guess that's the day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually if you open up your newspaper these days, like you've got like some political stuff, you got some like maybe some I don't know some sports thing.
Yep.
And Yoshida gives us the D.
Gives us the D.
It's there every
It's
week.
always there. We just put that like up on the top of the overlay or something next to the clocks.
The clocks would be
Like why isn't the headline ever changed? Because it's the headline every week.
It could be the name of every episode. Like, sometimes the other podcast will have names of like whatever the theme of the episode was.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be like episode 3, Yoshida gives us the D. Wasn't episode 2 Yoshida gives yes.
But he's giving you the D this time too.
He's still giving us the D.
I wouldn't actually put come on FM. I'm a UI designer. I can find out ways to put the D on stream without actually putting the D on stream.
D on stream.
I guess we could use the latter part of these casts for I don't know for questions.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, we didn't really have a. We're winging it here. We're looking for a format that fits us.
Yep, this is totally episode 0. This is the pilot, so.
I enjoyed the talk. I feel like
Oh, this is great. I love it. I love this already. Even without I guess because we have a lot of things that we've wanted to talk about that we haven't really been able to, with regards to like skills and just like basic. We went over Stormblood, some raid stuff. Yeah.
Wait, did you guys actually kidnap Blacklight Attack? Oh my god.
Did we succeed? I had nothing to do with this. But I think Aya actually pimped out AVLN for Blacklight.
Awesome job, Aya.
Oh my god, did he really call his Lalo Totino's pizza rolls?
Yes, he did. Oh my god.
Oh man, and I like how everybody whenever I see a streamer, and this is how we've been really good with acquisitions. Because I see a streamer and then everybody is from AVLN, and then I usually just post in our Discord. I'm like, descend.
Yeah, you actually have a really good. I'm gonna say this term, and people, because you've got a really good group of witch hunters. I see so many names I recognize going, psst, Pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is whisper somebody's name into their ear. Blacklight Attack. And then they just said, Pamphlet.
People do that. It's like they'll post up, and the funny thing is, I believe it was Aya that posted first that you should join AVLN. So people outside of Famfrit are trying to bring people into Famfrit, and I have so much pride for the server now, even though from a general server standpoint, Famfrit's pretty pleb level. We're bringing it. We're bringing it up. We are the new
you have legitimized
streamer.
Famfrit.
Yeah.
You actually have, and I know there were streamers on Famfrit before they transferred off, and I think that you guys have done more to legitimize Famfrit. I'm gonna be very opinionated about that. I love Famfrit now.
I'm really happy. Oh wait, go ahead.
Spoony, I love Lalafels. Don't let them get you down. I love Lalafels.
I'm actually on that as well. I remember, yeah, people will have their thoughts about Lalafels. I mean, we have Avalon hype for a reason. Equal treatment of all races. You guys can punt potatoes in your own time.
There are some awesome streamers in your chat right now, man.
Look at this.
I'm feeling
Aya, Goofy.
Mr. Happy ain't got nothing on Famfrit, man.
I think that's just the it's very unique. If I may boast for a couple of seconds here. It's very unique what I set out to do with this, because I just wanted to play with people in Twitch chat. And then all of a sudden playing with two people in Twitch chat was like, hey, this streamer can join us too. And I'm like, okay, we can play with him as well, or her. And it just started growing from there. And now those people want to play with their favorite streamers as well, and so people are being dragged into this. And
you give me the ability to move my house between servers, and I will consider a transfer.
That's what a lot of people have had.
I want to hit the Mog Station up, and I want to pay for an FC transfer that actually transfers FC characters. I don't care if it's like 50, 60 bucks to transfer an entire FC. I'd do it and move my house. And I would do it.
Yeah.
I love Marlboro, but Marlboro has me, the people that I stream with, and a pair of tumbleweeds. Oh, and I love Mike. I love Mike to death, but I want the world to know that I did Zalera first.
Where's oh shit? Where's my alert here? Where is it? My button isn't working. God damn it. Okay. Wow. Wow.
Like I got people and a plot of land I don't want to leave behind. And then I would be fine with transferring. Just saying.
No, I completely understand. I still find it really funny that, like, you know, being part of the Chillis, that we have Spoonie out there, we have Sophie out there, and the three of us all play FF, all play 14, and we're on 3 different data centers. Spoonie's on Chaos, not right? Chaos, the EU server. Sophie's on Ether, and I'm on Primal.
Yeah.
That's like.
It's like, yeah, that's another thing. It's like when I want to play with these people, it's the reason why I have an Ether alt. Like and then I don't play it. Spoonie, when are you moving your main to Famfrit? Like, seriously, yeah, come on over. Aya, when are you moving off of you? So
Behemoth.
Wait, if you're past Twin Sly, you're on Behemoth. I don't know. Can we get Sly to move on over? Get Miztech to move over? Like, that's it. We just need to start. What we need to do is we need to wait for that FC Alliance thing that they've been talking about, and just make a set of streamer FCs on Famfrit, and then make an alliance.
Twitch.
Twitch
Alliance.
And the Twitch Alliance, and then just own the market board. And so when somebody undercuts you by half, you break their legs. We're
gonna throw Mafia on into this game. We're gonna be a freaking Mafia.
Oh yes, young Goldsmith. I see you have chosen Famfrit as your server. Let me inform you of some of our customs here. You do not undercut by anything more than 1 gil. If you do, you'll wake up with a chavo in your bed. Don Pookajutsu. Pook is lawful evil? Yes, I am.
Lawful evil.
Lawful evil.
I think I'm chaotic.
Somebody calm Pook down. Can't do it.
Nope.
Can't do it.
Impossible.
I'm gonna see that text.
Why did Bryan wink?
There. You guys get to hear my keyboard. You have a chavo. You just wake up with a chavo in your bed. No, I just like it's like oh, we won't name and shame you. We won't do any of that. We won't put you out there on our streams or anything like that. But we know where the band people go.
Yeah, they get to the band people get to spend their life in Chrysalis. And never having the limit break.
Could you imagine
to kill the tear?
You control so much
Never.
of the server that you can control the queues. You're like, oh, he's queuing for something over there. Make sure he gets Christmas
this time.
Ockmorn's over there playing with the sliders again.
Oh man,
she's dangerous with those sliders.
Aya's a designated puncher. Come on, that's her. That's her. She knows her positionals. Yeah, monk for life for Aya. Come on.
Oh wow!
Whoa! I wish I had my soundboard working right now. It's a travesty that I don't have it on right now. Oh my god!
You just got a fraud alert for your credit card? Uh-oh.
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 Any last minute questions before we wrap up this wonderful episode 0 of
any
Pook and Bryan in the morning?
Anything you'd like to see us talk about in the future?
Very true, yes, and I will take notes.
Like, it's like, oh man, I wish you guys would focus more on chocobo racing.
What? That exists?
No. Hot dogs are Oh.
I can only take so many corn dogs. Like, corn dog is like, cornbread is like what differentiates that. I love that.
I have a question. I have a question then. If you can only take so many corn dogs, does that mean you can take unlimited hot dogs?
Maybe. I haven't tested that yet.
Like, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that heard that phrasing of "I can only take so many corn dogs," and I'm like, is that a challenge? Is that a challenge? I love corn dogs. I love corn dogs. I eat like a 6-year-old, if you can't tell. So fish sticks and French fries and corn dogs and chicken nuggets, and that's mac and cheese. Those are my favorites. Everybody's like, I'm having steak and potatoes tonight, and I'm like, ugh, steak? Ugh.
What? Oh man.
Give me a burger.
God, my best birthday present from the last few years has been going to a steakhouse in Pasadena. I'm like, I am good. I don't need anything material except this thing going into my stomach.
I see sometimes
Japanese cow entering my stomach.
I see there's some people in the 14 community that really like to post the meals they have, and somebody really likes to post like the meals they have. They're not here right now, but they really do, and it's like usually like sushi and like fancy ramen and all that fun stuff, and I'm just like, none of that looks appealing to me. I'm like, none of that is a little bite-sized dinosaur. None of it is. None of it is dinosaur shaped.
The thing is like, I have that as well. I have the days where I want like that stuff, but most of the time I'm eating like a 6-year-old as well.
I like how we started the food talk.
Yeah, I know. We just we're winding this down. It's like, what do you guys want to hear about? Corn dogs versus hot dogs? And apparently, I'm not going to even address the other question because that we're going to be on here forever. And
what is pizza a sandwich?
No, it's pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza is a no. It's an absolute not. That's a fruit salad. And
can I get a high five?
Which direction?
There
is okay.
There. That's good. Boom.
All right. Boom. I didn't know if my camera was flipped or not. Oh, I can hardly tell this.
You're good.
That's a yeah.
No, you're stuck again. As I said, FM, you're stuck there.
I don't like pineapple near hot things. I love pineapple. It's one of my favorite
pineapple
fruits,
is a refreshing fruit that you eat and then drink the juice. You don't have that.
Yeah, I'm not even like the flavor's bad. I just don't like pineapple near. It's the heat of the food kind of thing, as opposed to like that. Just like some people don't like cold pizza. I love cold pizza, by the way.
Cold? Oh, you're a cold pizza person? So is Jen. I need my pizza warmed up.
Yeah. Yo, nice. I love those emos. So yeah, I'm weird like that. All right.
I think we're good here. I think we're good. What do you think? We're gonna do this. You want to do this weekly, bi-weekly? Kind of just see how we feel about it on Fridays. Complete your week with Bryan and Pook, or Pook and Bryan.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'll have to, once we're off, I'll have to talk to you something about scheduling, but yeah.
I think this was a success. Does everybody think this was a success?
Weekly?
You guys like this? Wow.
If there's 14 stuff to talk about weekly, or even like it seems like 14, like we should talk about 14 community.
I think like 14 community would be community. I think that's pretty important. Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah, weekly or bi-weekly. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be like once a month. I approve of this as much as I can have it. So a hot dog instead of a corn dog.
Okay. Yeah, hot dog. Yeah, that's a hot dog instead of a corn dog.
This show is definitely a hot dog in place of a corn dog.
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. That's good to know.
Great.
Thank
That
you.
feels really good. Thank you. We just kind of put this together. We were like, who comes into my chat yesterday? He's like, well, we have a thing. I'm like, yeah, we have a thing.
Yeah,
And I have.
we've been throwing around the idea of doing something like this for a long time, but we like throw ideas back and forth, and we never decided on anything. And I was like, aren't we doing something this week? And it's like, oh yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, because we decided last week that today would be the day, and today
I was
has
like,
been the day.
And Bryan actually threw together the logo today, like in like 5 minutes.
I'm gonna improve on it though, because I also love this. I love coming up with slogans off the top of my head too.
We talk Final Fantasy, so you won't want to. Yeah. All right,
cool guys. Pook's gonna take off since I'm gonna be doing some leveling roulettes and stuff before we start raid day. But yeah, stick around. More Final Fantasy XIV action coming to you on twitch.tv/AvalonStar. Please follow Pookajutsu over there at twitch.tv/Pookajutsu/subscribe, and you will not be disappointed.
I like that /subscribe. That's really cool. You get all kinds of little cool pony emotes and
you can throw pants that signify all the fucks you give.
Yeah, you just be like,
Can I get some Pook? Can I get some the pants? And also, since Sophie's in here, Sophie Pantsu as well. There we go. Throw the pants.
There you go.
Throw those pants.
That's look at all the
and
fucks
the things
I
out
give.
of the pants. All the fucks that I give. Yeah, all the fucks we give right now. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Thank you, Pook.
Make sure to also subscribe to this guy right here. He's got a 420 goal that I think he should meet.
The good 420 goal.
Your good 420 goal.
Oh yeah, just for the lulls. Just for the lulls. All right, Pook, I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna have to set this all back up.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. I don't have a closing screen, so you're just gonna have to live with this. Or I'll just do this.